Good. Good afternoon. I'm Sukh Dhaliwal, Member of Parliament for Surrey Newton, and I welcome you all into the best part of British Columbia, which is Surrey Newton. Before I go further, I would like to acknowledge that today we are gathered on the unceded traditional territory of Kwanton, Katessi, Kite, Semiamo, Kikutlam, and Swasan First Nations. And it's my pleasure today to be joined by my esteemed colleagues. First is Honorable Minister Gregor Robertson, Minister responsible for housing and infrastructure, also Minister responsible for Pacific Economic Development. Next one is Randeep Sarai from Surrey Centre, who is a Secretary of State for International Development. And I also have my dear, young, and always upcoming and helping us grow, Param Bains, all the way from Richmond East, Steveston. And of course, with us we have Honorable Minister Christine Boyle, Minister responsible for Infrastructure and Municipal Affairs. And with us also we have Her Worship Mayor Brenda Locke, and also the City Councillor Linda Annis. And of course, last but not least, we have with us the President of the Union of BC Municipalities, Trish Mandewo. And with that, I welcome you as well, and thank you for all joining us here. And I would like to personally thank Your Worship Mayor Brenda Locke, yourself, your team, of course the councillors and the city for having this announcement right here. And not only the announcement, I was talking earlier, Newton needs a lot of attention. It needs a lot of work. And I can tell you that I was telling earlier that Mayor Brenda Locke is paying a lot of attention to Newton. Thank you for that, Brenda. And hopefully you will continue to push that agenda forward. And now with that, when we see this state-of-the-art facility that's built here, it helps young people, it helps elderly people, it helps communities, because Newton is an area where a lot of newcomers come in, and this is where the attention is put up for their well-being. So with that, I would love to invite my younger brother-like friend Randeep Sarai to the podium. Randeep, please come.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on this important announcement for British Columbia. My name, as you just heard, is Randeep Sarai. I'm the Member of Parliament for Surrey Centre and the Secretary of State for International Development, and I'll be your MC today. As you know, our government has been working very hard to building better and building a better future for Canadians, taking strong climate action and rebuilding our economy that works for everyone. As we look forward to a better future for all Canadians, we continue to make strategic investments in housing, in transit, and in infrastructure that are critical, developing resilient communities where residents can thrive. And today we're proud to support an important program that will contribute to a more connected future for residents of Surrey and British Columbia. And as my colleague Sukh Dhaliwal has said, we have in the last government and in this current government put a big emphasis on growing communities like Surrey and the region Metro Vancouver and Greater Vancouver as a whole to make sure that the quality infrastructure, whether it is chargers for EV vehicles, whether it's stadiums like this or rec centers, that the funding that the municipalities need is there for them. So to tell you a little bit more about that, I'm proud to introduce my colleague, the Honourable Gregor Robertson. He's no stranger to municipal politics and knows what municipalities need, but currently he's our Minister for Housing and Infrastructure and the Minister responsible for the Pacific Economic Development Agency, which is also headquartered right here in Surrey, who will deliver remarks on behalf of the Government of Canada. Over to you, Gregor.
Thank you, Randeep, and thanks to Sukh for hosting us here in your community, and to the Mayor and Councillor. Thank you for hosting us today for this unveiling. Great to be with you all here in sunny Surrey. Since, as Randeep just said, since being elected, your new federal government has been laying the foundation for building Canada strong. That is what we were elected to do. And at the core of that is investing in housing, in transit, in infrastructure that our communities need. So working in partnerships with provinces, territories, Indigenous and local governments, we are building at a pace and scale that has not been seen in generations. And we do this by investing in housing and the vital infrastructure that helps close the housing gap and also strengthens our economy in these increasingly unpredictable times. Cette annonce marque une autre étape et démontre le rôle clé que jouent les grandes infrastructures dans le soutien au logement abordable et la promotion communauté plus connectée. To this end, your federal government is providing over $326 million to communities across BC to support their local infrastructure projects under the Canada Community Building Fund. These funds will help local governments undertake the projects that address the local priorities now and for decades into the future. This is a generational infrastructure that we're collectively investing in. Here in Surrey, Bear Creek Athletics Centre was just completed, has become a hub for sport and community activities. The centre here is supporting athletes and community members alike, from the local sports teams and community groups to regional and provincial events, hopefully someday national and international events. The facility is designed for accessibility and adaptability, featuring this grandstand with seating for over 2,000 people, upgraded track, it's nice and springy, built to international standards, accessible washrooms and universal change rooms, and an elevator providing access to the upper levels of this grandstand. Keeping pace with the city's growth, the Bear Creek Athletic Centre offers space where athletes and spectators of all ages can come together and foster community. I'll give a couple of other examples across BC. In Kelowna, where funding from this fund is supporting the construction of Bertram multi-use overpass, and that connects neighborhoods on both sides of a busy highway. That overpass is critical for Kelowna's active transportation network, providing safe and sustainable, accessible routes for pedestrians and cyclists, and making commuting easier, safer, and more inclusive. Another example in the North Okanagan, in the regional district there, a new generator was installed at the Grindrod water treatment plant to maintain the operations during power outages. So we have issues with that, obviously, from time to time. We got to make sure that the power is resilient, and there were facility improvements as well there completed to enhance the reliability and the resilience of the water system. So these upgrades ensure that the community in the North Okanagan has access to safe, clean, and dependable water, and that's obviously supporting the health and well-being of residents. So there is flexibility with the Canada Community Building Fund. The local governments here in BC will have the flexibility to make these strategic infrastructure investments for their communities. And that collaboration, the innovation that we expect of each other, and the technology that goes into all of these investments are really essential for shaping our future. The fund also ties investments to actions taken by the provinces and territories. Great to be with Minister Boyle here and working together on housing in particular. We have to increase housing supply across the country. BC has been leading the charge, doing a fantastic job working with local communities, and now we'll see all of this Team Canada approach across federal, provincial, territorial, Indigenous, local governments, regional governments. We all got to be on the same page to build more housing in these times. And I'll just make a plug for the new effort we are mounting here called Build Canada Homes that I'm spearheading on behalf of our federal government. And that is a new, lean, mission-driven organization that is going to change the way we build homes here in Canada, accelerating the development of affordable housing projects, non-market projects, and modernizing and focusing our housing industry. That work will be centered around innovative Canadian technologies, Canadian workers, Canadian materials, wherever possible. And we need to see the construction double across our country over this decade. We need to see the cost and the time that it takes to build homes really transform. We need to build cheaper and faster and greener and more resilient all at the same time. And we know we can do that with Canadian technologies. So these investments will help us not only at the community level like this with the Community Building Fund, but then also directly into housing and infrastructure in our neighborhoods to support Canadians. We recently launched a market sounding guide for Build Canada Homes, so we're seeking feedback, constructive input from industry and from citizens and communities to really shape this program for maximum impact and benefit, and ensuring that we're also getting the private sector investing and doing everything they can to build more non-market housing with us. So using public lands, putting together the right financing and forging those public and private partnerships, that's right at the core of Build Canada Homes. And that is the piece that we're moving in sync with the work to build community infrastructure much larger at the local level here too. Chaque Canadien devrait avoir un endroit abordable et sécuritaire où il peut se sentir chez soi, un endroit où il peut planter ses racines et bâtir un futur riche. When Canadians come together, Canada builds infrastructure that lasts. It's time to build Canada strong by building big and building now. Thank you very much. Merci à tous.
Thank you, Minister Robertson. As you can see, in order to build really healthy cities, healthy communities, healthy livelihoods, you need the collaboration of all three levels of government to work together. And I can't say we can have a better collaboration with our provincial government. And I'd like to now introduce our Minister for Housing and Municipal Affairs, Christine Boyle. Thank you.
Thank you, and good morning. It is an honor to be here on the traditional unceded territory of the Coast Salish people, including the Katsi, Kwantlen, and Semiahmoo First Nations. I'm delighted to join the Honourable Gregor Robertson, Federal Minister of Housing and Infrastructure, MPs Sarai and MP Dhaliwal. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you, Mayor Locke and the City of Surrey for hosting us in one of BC's most vibrant and fastest growing communities. And great as well to be here with Trish Mandewo, President of UBCM. Thank you for your continued leadership. And of course, everyone in the community who's joined us, your presence reminds us why this work matters. We know that growth without planning can lead to traffic jams and long wait lists and frustrated parents trying to get into swimming lessons or find parking at the pool. Maybe that's just my own complaints, but I hear it elsewhere too. It's clear people want homes they can afford in complete communities with reliable infrastructure and amenities. We know costs for local governments have increased and they need help with the infrastructure that supports building the homes that people need. Local governments can't do this alone, and when it comes to getting housing built faster and the infrastructure that supports it, all levels of government need to be doing everything they can, which is why today's announcement is so important and exciting. With over $326 million flowing to BC this year through the Canada Community Building Fund, communities will be able to continue to invest in infrastructure. Reliable, long-term, and predictable investments like Canada Community Building Fund help communities prepare for growth, improving quality of life, and supporting increasing homes that people need, and are critical to building sustainable and livable communities. like this beautiful athletic park that it is much too hot for us to all run around today. This is a great example of what collaboration can achieve and what our communities need. Infrastructure that supports everyday life and promotes wellness and connection. The housing shortage is a national challenge. And as I've said, it is going to take all of us working together to solve it. BC is making the largest investment in homes for people in British Columbia's history, $19 billion. And our government is backing up our housing goals with real support for local governments, from the historic $1 billion Growing Communities Fund to targeted grants and programs. We're helping communities plan for their future needs and deliver the infrastructure that makes good housing and communities possible. We're pulling every lever at our disposal to build and encourage housing of all types right across the province. And it's working. BC has more than 93,000 homes delivered or underway throughout the province as a result of our investments and other housing initiatives. But we know that housing doesn't happen in isolation. It needs water systems and transit and sidewalks and community spaces. And that's why it's so important that communities have access to funding for the full spectrum of infrastructure needed to support complete and thriving communities. So again, I want to thank our federal partners for their continued support and understanding of these challenges. It certainly helps to have a housing minister or a federal minister of housing and infrastructure who is from this region and who understands the full context and challenges that we face, and to be working together all levels of government to support communities to build homes people need for now and for a good future together. Grateful to be part of this work and see it continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Boyle. And now I'd like to invite my good friend, President Trish Mandewo, to deliver a few remarks on behalf of the Union of BC Municipalities.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you all for joining us. Today, we are here to recognize a program that has steadily strengthened communities in every corner of British Columbia for more than 20 years. And we're talking about the Canada Community Building Fund. This is not a one-time program or a short-term fix. It is a steady, reliable investment from the Government of Canada that allows local governments to plan ahead and to respond to local priorities and deliver projects that truly matter and that people on the ground can see and the people we serve appreciate. From upgrading water and wastewater systems to improving roads and public transit to building recreation centers, trails, and energy efficient facilities, the Canada Community Building Fund has supported thousands of projects that improve daily life and support sustainability. And this is set out to our communities. This sets out our communities for long-term success. What makes this fund so effective is its design. It provides stable, predictable, and flexible funding that local governments can count on year after year. The stability means our communities don't just build for today, but they build for the future. On behalf of the Union of BC Municipalities, I want to thank the Government of Canada and the Province of BC for this ongoing partnership. And I want to acknowledge that the leadership of our local governments across BC do appreciate this. And those are the ones who use the dollars wisely, and they make the kinds of investments that strengthen our community and protect our environment and also enhance the well-being of our residents. The Canada Community Building Fund is a proven program, and with this regular distribution of funds, we look forward to seeing even more projects that will benefit people and communities across British Columbia for decades to come. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, President Mandewo. Next, I'd like to call our good friend and a champion for Surrey and making Surrey great, Her Worship Brenda Locke, Mayor of Surrey.
Well, thank you, and welcome Minister Robertson, Minister Boyle, welcome to Surrey, Trish Mandewo, President, welcome to our city. We're very proud of it, and of course, Sukh and Randeep know all too well what a great city we live in. So good morning to all of you, and thank you for being here. As you all know, Surrey is one of the fastest growing cities in not only British Columbia, but in all of Canada. And in fact, we're right on track to reach 1 million people in the very near future. And over the last decade, the Canada Community Building Fund has contributed more than $20 million to Surrey alone. These contributions have helped us build parks, sports facilities like this, roads and sidewalks, and other infrastructure. Recently, that support helped us to complete the stadium that you see behind us, which features the upgraded track that's here and 3 times the seating under the grandstand. And I can tell you what the grandstand looked like before. Actually, you could feel what that grandstand was like before because it was all splintered benches. So we are so very thrilled to have this state-of-the-art facility here. It will be, and it is, a premier venue for sporting events throughout the Lower Mainland. And nearby here is a park called Tamanawis Park, where we're adding a 3rd water-based turf field. That makes Surrey the only city in Canada that has 3 dedicated field hockey fields all in one location. That's quite an honor for us, and I know that the field hockey world is just chomping at the bit to get to be there and do more and more activities. Our council is committed to delivering the housing, amenities, and infrastructure needed for our rapidly growing community, and the support that we get from the Canada Community Building Fund is essential in helping us meet those urgent needs, priorities, and amenities to keep pace with our growth, to build our community, because all of this is about community building. So on behalf of the people of Surrey, I want to thank very much the federal government, the Union of BC Municipalities, and the province of British Columbia for the support they give us for these projects that directly benefit our residents, our families, the children, the youth, the people that are on these fields every single day. I want to thank you for that. Together, we value the strong partnership that we continue to have to work towards building a city that is great and that truly works for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Locke. As you've seen, the leadership displayed here today is helping us all build a brighter future for the community and across the province. We'll keep collaborating with our partners and investing in infrastructure projects across the country that make a real impact for Canadians today and for generations to come. So that concludes the formal part of the event. We'll do a quick photo opportunity, and then I'd like to invite Press Secretary Renee Proctor to moderate the media question period following right after. So you want to let us know how we do our picture? Yeah, let's do the media thing first. Sure. Thank you.
No questions? Good.
It's good.
Photo op?
Photo, sure. Okay. Yeah, flags would be good. Yeah.